race. And I agree with him. I think we could be ranking the flight controllers to see who wins Sail Grand Prix Bermuda in 2022. Very interesting here, Stevie. Normally, with 2 minutes to go, this start box is absolutely packed with all the action. It feels like the drivers and the tacticians on board have entered the start box late and are not showing their hands to the other crews.
No, I mean, it was quite interesting. Ben Ainslie sounded a little bit, you know, Phil Robertson's aggressive. He's a fighter. He doesn't want to be too near him for me, which is pretty unusual to hear from Ben Ainslie. But I think in this steady, perfect sailing conditions, what they really want is a fast speed race.
What I find interesting is we get ready to hit the 30-second mark, gentlemen, as all of these drivers, Phil Robertson, Ben Ainslie, and Tom Slingsby, have all won races here in the first 5 that we've sailed so far. Of course, Great Britain winning races 1 and 3, Canada winning race 2, and race 5, it was Australia.
Here we go, and first move is Canada. They turn the boat down aggressively towards Australia. The man with the plan on board Australia has control of the start at the moment, but how's the timing? Looking late on Great Britain, really aggressive from the Canadian crew at the moment. It's going to be really, really tight as we come into the start line now. 2 seconds. Timing looks good from Australia. Perfect start from Australia. The Canadians are going to have to try and hang on the inside. And what has the British crew got up to here? Really late at the start. They've got a job on from here.
Look at the speeds. Over 70 kilometers an hour as they approach mark number 1. This is the final race. Who will take home the title here in Bermuda? Canada, Australia, or Great Britain?
It's going to come down. That's the voice.
Rolling down. When I heard him. Yeah, rolling down.
Oh, that was the voice there of Kyle Langford saying we're clear, let's roll down and hurt him. And they've just sailed across them, given them dirty wind. And look at that flight height. Well, Billy Goodrem, he's certainly turned up to play.
So what Ainslie's got to think about here is splitting away from the 2 other boats. I'd expect an early jibe from Ainsley and let Canada and Australia mess around with each other. And there, the British jibe, and they go out to the far-hand side of the course.
Here we go. He's just trying to find some space and some other wind on the side of the course. If he follows, he'll only sail in the turbulent wind of the boats in front. So he's looking for advantage on the other side. Perfect jives by all 3 boats, and just 44 metres in it as we're on board Australia.
Calm it down. Just can't get too slow. He's on the inside. Got to keep her a little fast.
Voice to Tom Slingsby asking them to keep it fast.
I think we've got to go left turn. Actually, if they all go right, yeah, we're going to go right.
Great to hear the plans there. Tom Slingsby just constantly talking about his plans, adapting all the time. Looks like one more manoeuvre from all the crews. Slingsby desperate to be going the same way as all the other boats. That gives them less chance of leapfrogging ahead of them.
Body at the mark. Counting at 5, alright. Setting up in 3.
We're on board Australia here, listening to the Australian crew, bringing them upwind at gate number 2 here, and all the other boats look set to follow. This is great news for Slingsby and Australia, but again, no, it's Ainsley. He turns away, looks to split. He's hoping to find more wind on the other side of the course, but the Australians are going really fast.
And look how fast Australia is. More than 2 kilometers faster than Canada, who follows them. And Freddie, to your point, Great Britain looking to be happy to get out of phase with the other 2 boats.
Yeah, they've got to look to go and sail in a different patch of water. They've really got to hope that Australia and Canada focus on each other so much they don't sail their boats at 100%. They've got to sail in a different patch of water, hope to pick up more wind speed, hope to get a bit of a wind shift and boost them that 100 metres they need to get back into this race.
And Slingsby immediately with the maneuver there, trying to send the dirty air Canada's way. They have the lead, the 2-time defending champions, looking to start off season 3 with a bang. Tom Slingsby here, hoping to take this victory here and take the Bermuda Sail Grand Prix.
And there is a smidge more wind for the British team over on that far side of the course, but maybe not enough to make the dent into the leaders right now.
Well, the ladder lines currently show a 200-metre advantage over from Australia to Great Britain. The Canadians still staying close, just 88 metres behind the Australian crew. We're halfway up this second beat, and I think it's going to be interesting. So Nathan Outridge is positioned more upwind of us. I wonder if Nathan can see any more wind coming down, any opportunity for these chasing boats to be able to catch up out there.
The advantage right now coming up on 100 meters.
Let me know if they go put down, Ted. Down.
Nathan, we can see the boat setting up. Tom Slingsby's really in a match race mood, tacking every time Canada tacks, trying to block their wind. But can you see any opportunities as we get to the top of this upwind leg?
Press building at 3.
Yeah, Steve, you're looking from the shore. The left still seems to be stronger with, the breeze on the left does look a bit stronger, but at water level, it's very obvious to see once all the fleet's gone and we're just focusing on two boats at the moment that Jason Waterhouse is flying the boat higher. They've got more wind and heel on the Australian boat. They're flying it higher, and I think they're in a low mode. They're winning this race, and Tom's just giving Phil absolutely no chances right now to get back into it. Canada's going to need a mistake from Australia, a manoeuvre to get back into this one.
And you can see that point that Nathan made there, our top left of picture, that the Australian boat is flying slightly to 10 centimetres higher out of the water than the other two boats. More height out of the water means more speed. Interesting thing here is the British have rejoined onto the back of this two-boat match race.
So, Stevie, if Australia goes on to win this race and win the Bermuda Sail Grand Prix, does Jason Waterhouse get the MVP award?
Certainly should. For me, I think the flight control is absolutely crucial. But now, bottom left here, we see the true wind speeds. There's really not a lot of difference in the winds between the two boats, just 1 kilometre an hour. There's not a lot of opportunity for the boats behind.
Stevie, right now, if you're Slingsby in the lead, are you defending the Brits or are you defending the Canadians?
I'm far enough ahead that I'm going to keep it simple. I can set up with an easy move here and then match behind.
As they make their way through gate number 5, which is branded near in recognition of SailGP's new global partner, that blockchain technology. Stevie, you're up on all that stuff. This is high-tech stuff coming to SailGP.
This is high-tech stuff, and of course there's high-tech sailing boats out there on the water right now, and that's a big, big lead for Australia. They've done some real damage up on this upwind leg. 19 seconds. They were just 4 seconds ahead at gate 2. At gate 3, it's out to 19 seconds. Pure boat speed there, and the Great British crew managing to stay out of phase, constantly sailing on the opposite side of the course to the boats ahead. They're hoping to find more wind. If they can do that, they'll give themselves a chance, but at the moment I'm seeing no mistakes, and Ainsley, well, is that a disgruntled look on him?
He is the defending champion from this event last year, but right now they are certainly just trying to get themselves into second place as they've drawn within 30 meters of the Canadians.
Interesting thing is here, the British are going very fast around the course, but because they've been trying to sail on opposite parts of the race course, they've sailed extra distance. So they haven't sailed the perfect tactical race for obvious reasons, but they are going fast.
100% fly time across the board, so perfection on those maneuvers, keeping both poles out of the water. But again, to Freddie's point, Australia now 300 meters clear. Tom Slingsby is absolutely putting on a clinic. Remember, he is the two-time defending champion at SailGP, and what a way to start off this 2022 campaign.
We're going to dive left turn. Hey, stand by. Keep the belt on. Put down.
It's the voice of Tom Slingsby talking tactics. He's talking of one more manoeuvre, looking for a left turn. In the background, the battle for second is getting tight. It looks to me at the moment as though the battle for first is all well and done. Ainsley on board Great Britain needs to be sure to be ahead. It's a tight cross. He doesn't have the right of way, but he's through. Looks to me like Tom Slingsby's going left turn, and he'll be hoping the other boats follow him.
They're a big left here at the moment.
All the chatter on board Australia. We spoke with Tom Slingsby at the start of this regatta. Remember, he said, just get me to the final. I like my chances in a 3-boat race.
Oh, big grunt from Ben Ainsley there. They splashed the boat in underwater there. Technical manoeuvre from the Canadians. They're trying to find some space now in third place. Brilliant job by this new Canadian team, but I think it's going to be hard for them from here. They're back now. They've lost 100 metres on Great Britain, and now Australia and Slingsby. Well, he sails all the way to boundary, and look at that. Simultaneous tack with the British crew. Looks like the Australians have changed their focus. They're now defending Great Britain.
A little bit softer this beat, guys.
So he's calling for a little bit softer this beat. Remember, it's down and back, and then the blast to the finish line, and the race is over.
And as the Canadians voiced, the softer this beat, guys, which was off board Carl Langford, as he said that, his wing shape changed dramatically looking at the data, and he changed the power setup in the huge wing sail and got the boat ripping in what looks to be a little bit softer breeze.
It'll probably be interesting to get out of the water and find out if Nathan's seeing that bit more wind on the course. It's going to make a change of situation out there, but at the moment, looks very tight. Nathan, are we going to see any big changes before the end of this race, mate?
From where I'm looking, it looks like GBR are catching up a lot, and I've been looking closely at the wings. I don't often get a chance to see these boats sailing up and close, and I've got the data out here on my phone as well. And on that downwind, Ian Jensen, the wing trimmer on GBR, was running a lot more twists than the other two boats. The boat was ripping downwind, and it seems like they've been able to make some big gains in this race by just changing the setup of the power control on the wing, getting the boat going faster. And Tom now is keeping a really close cover on GBR, but I think that was why they made the big gain, was just Ian Jensen making a small change on the wing, and GBR are back in this race.
These wing trimmers, a little bit like aeroplane pilots, but we see here on the screen, look at that now, just 100 metres separating all three boats. This race is far from over. I love the position Slingsby's put himself in. All the boats on the same tack, all heading in the same direction. That's great news, but look at it. It's perfection on all the teams at the moment. They're really sailing these boats to the limit. It's going to come down to the details of these final more manoeuvres as they arrive at this top lay line. One more tack to go before the final upwind gate.
You couldn't ask for much more as we come up on leg number 6 of 7. Then it'll be to the top of the course and then the sprint to the finish line. These are the F50s, the world's best sailors doing battle here at the Bermuda Sail Grand Prix presented by Hamilton Princess.
Rudders coming off here.
Just setting up for a bear away, turning away from the wind. Slingsby has to change his rudder setting. These are like Formula 1 drivers. It's tight. Is there an overlap there with Canada and Great Britain? Doesn't look like it. They're going to follow each other around. Ainsley in second, tied together by a piece of string with the Canadian crew, but they're 200 metres behind the two-time SailGP champion, Slingsby in Australia. And there you go, that was Ainsley. We're on a match with Canada. Ainsley's given up on winning this event. He's focused now on securing second.
And we know that season points overall are massive as we arrive to our 11th event in San Fran at the end of the season.
Here we go, simultaneous jibes. Canada turn in the background, and with Great Britain we're going to go with, but we're back with the leaders now. Just 700 or 800 metres to go until this final gate, and there's no mistakes coming from this Australian crew so far.
Angle, on.
You look at the resume for Australia, guys, over the last 2 days, and it hasn't been overly stellar. It's been consistently solid. On race day number 1, they went 4, 5, and 3, so it's not super impressive. Then the first race today, they finished in 4th, but it's that 5th race where they get the win, and the momentum carrying them into this final, they just look like they picked off right where they left in San Francisco.
What do we always say about the Australians? They're fast and they stay out of trouble. Yep. That's exactly what they've done here in Bermuda.
It's really the consistency. I think it's a bit of maturity from Tom Slingsby as well to stay patient even when he is in those fights and just keep the results coming, chip away, and he's just done a great job of that. And then when you've got the likes of Waterhouse, Langford, Newton and Fowler in front of you, there's just not mistakes happening.
So the Australians won 5 from 8 events last year. They're going to go on and win here in Bermuda. Are we making that 6 from 9? That is pretty impressive.
The speed still over 60 kilometers an hour for the Australians as they bring it home. A great recovery by Sir Ben Ainsley as they were last in 3rd. They move up to 2nd place for the valuable points, and Canada has dropped back to 3rd place. But as we come to the finish line, the Bermuda Sail Grand Prix presented by Hamilton Princess goes the way of the 2-time defending champions. Australia brings it home. Great Britain will claim 2nd place, and Canada, a great performance, guys. Remember, this is a brand new team, and on the first event, they get themselves into the great final. And the debriefing already underway on board.
That's interesting, isn't it? That was the voice of Ian Jensen saying, at the start, I had the wheel, then the comms cut out, but there was obviously a bit of a tricky spot in the last manoeuvre into their lineup.
You just can't take mistakes against this Australian crew. If you make mistakes, they punish you, and they're not making them themselves. So
it's deja vu all over again as the green and gold will celebrate another victory. Fresh off their repeat in SailGP San Francisco, the 2-time defending champions have started the campaign in Season 3 with a big win in Bermuda.
We'll take over for you guys.
pretty interesting for the other crews to listen in there, because Tom Slingsby just saying there the strategy of going after whoever's in second and staying with that. Oh, show me the money, Jason Waterhouse.
All right, guys, let's break this thing down. They were clean, they were cool under fire, and they, as DeFredy said, they kept themselves out of trouble.
Thanks for your help, mate.
Freddie, you talk about foiling efficiency, you talk about the way they sailed the boat, the way they, oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, and this is the foil efficiency, as we'd expect across all these crews, 100% flight time. We talk about trying to fly it as high as possible, and actually Great Britain, Luke Parkinson flew a little bit higher. The number that stands out is foil stability as a percentage. If you hit 100%, it's basically as a perfect computer would have flown the foil around the race. So what we've seen there is Jason Waterhouse is the most computer-like. He was completely dialed into what we call the targets. He did a very, very nice job of sailing it as close to perfect as possible.
All right, thank you, Freddie. We take a look at the final scoreboard here. After 6 races in Bermuda, it is Australia that picks up the win, and so now they have 10 points as they look to defend the 2 titles they've won in a row. They pick up the 10 points. Great Britain 9, Canada finishes in 3rd with 8, Denmark and the USA rounding out the top 5. Still work to do for the Kiwis, Spain and France and Switzerland, new to the party. Stevie, that was seriously a baptism by fire.
That was just a brilliant start to season 3. I think Canada have performed incredibly, but wow, it was ominous to see how good. I thought these one-race winner-takes-all races would be hard to win, certainly with any level of consistency, but Slingsby and his crew, they seem to have a bit of a handle on it, and it's going to take a real change of attitude from the other crews to make sure they catch up.
So congratulations to Tom Slingsby in Australia. They get the win. Great Britain finishes in 2nd, and Canada, new to the party of SailGP Season 3, finishes in 3rd place. All right, let's take a look at the highlights, guys, and what a time it has been here in Bermuda. And again, Australia with the start.
Well, and what a start it was by Tom Slingsby, right on the beer the bang, but it was Ben Ainsley's British crew that caught my eye. Look at them out the back when that gun went, and that was really definitive.
And there was amazing comms coming into this Mark 1, and it was Tom Slingsby and Carl Langwood saying, hurt them here, push over the top of them, and that's why they stepped down the ladder as the Brits took the opportunity to step away for the first time and get out of phase.
And we see at this level, all of the manoeuvres pretty much perfectly executed. The boats were flying on the edge the whole time, but Tom Slingsby very noticeably turned it into a match race. He always wanted to try and stay on the wind, close bit of water to his opposition, not giving them any opportunity.
And they both, Canada and Great Britain, had their turns and taken a dig at Tom, and he just sailed fast in front of them and defended whoever he thought was the important person to defend. This was a key moment. Yes, they didn't win it, but season points are up for grabs, and we know how important that is when we get to the latter end of the season. So yes, you want to be getting 2nd place if you can't get 1st.
Absolutely, it's all about points and making as many points as you can over the season, but it was telling for me here that as they came round that mark, Ainsley had given up on catching Australia. He was right. Slingsby, Jason Waterhouse, we put him down as our star performer on the day, I think, and these flat water, being able to foil it on the edge was absolutely key.
Well, New Zealand had more luck off the course in Season 2, being crowned Impact League champions for Season 2, and today we are pleased to announce the league will take place again this season. And it will be even better with more clean energy innovations both on and off the water. More purpose and more impact will result as the teams do their best to help the planet on and off the water. And at every SailGP event, we'll also be working with local organizations such as the Bermuda Seagrass Project to help their sustainability programs. SailGP has funded the preservation of nearly 500 square meters of seagrass beds in the marine environment, which has been endangered through the overgrazing by the turtles. Congratulations to SailGP New Zealand, SailGP powered by nature. Well, the party continues out on the water, and once again, Australia gets it done. They get the victory to kick off the campaign for season number 3, and Tom Slingsby, Stevie, was sensational. His whole crew, for that matter.
Yeah, Tom, we're looking in on you now out there. You don't seem to be making it any easier for the other.
Getting into a bit of a specialist in the 3-boat, mate. We're looking forward to it, and yeah, we will hopefully do this again.
Tom, thanks for your time. Go celebrate with the boys as the champions of the Bermuda Sail Grand Prix presented by Hamilton Princess. It goes the way of Australia SailGP. I'll tell you what, they are having a good time out there, and I think they're used to this, Stevie. I think they know a thing or two about popping a cork or two.
Well, they do seem to be fairly comfortable with a bit of champagne, and as you said, nice problem to have, getting used to this winning.
So, chaps, you're the other 9 teams in Sail GP. What are you doing to catch up with the Australians?
Well, the advantage is they can get and look at the data, but I think there's nothing really to hide away from the fact that this crew's happy to push. So I think you've got to get out in training and be happy to make mistakes, learn from those mistakes, because Jason Waterhouse is just flying the boat higher, pushing it boat more on the edge.
Well, there's one thing establishing what you need to do, Stevie, but it's another thing altogether having the skill set and to be able to do it.
Well, and Tom said confidence. I mean, yeah, it's skill set, but practice makes perfect. This is probably the most experienced team in Sail GP, but they've made the most of those hours. They're sailing with a smile on their face, and that's just great to see.
And following up your point, Stevie, you know, Jimmy Spithill said it really appropriately. He said this team has been together longer than anyone else. Is this the reason why we're seeing these victories?
I certainly don't think it hurts. I mean, it's interesting. There have been crew changes this year. Tom's got a tight group there. They seem to have a fantastic team spirit. They've dropped out Nina Curtis and brought in Tash Bryant, but it's been fairly seamless in that tactician role. Tash has done a great job here. They've never been out of position, and well, tactically, they seem very, very good. They're having more problems with their flag than the rest of the fleet.
So the Aussies will figure it out. It is upside down. There you go. Congratulations once again to Australia, and we'll show you the scoreboard one more time, the way it rolls here in season number 3. What a start, as we are excited, as we will have 10 teams racing in full by the time this is over, guys. Australia, left no doubt about it, they are the team to beat.
And I'm looking at Denmark there. We saw them in race 4. They were having a battle with the Kiwis going down that last run. I thought they were going to go on to win that race. They then had some problem where they lost about 3 or 4 boats, and that was the end of their regatta.
Yeah, well, Freddie and I, Todd, do a deep dive podcast around Sail GP, and Great Britain and Australia were 2 of my picks to make it to the final. I did also pick New Zealand, and I think New Zealand and USA, they're the ones that grab my eye. They need to go away from this event and seriously make some changes, because that is not a good enough performance for such high caliber crews. So yeah, well, fantastic to see Canada up there. Great work by Denmark, but there's certainly 4 or 5 teams that need to go away and take a real look at themselves.
So that puts a wrap on the Bermuda Sail Grand Prix presented by Hamilton Princess. Next up, it's the Windy City on Lake Michigan. You heard Tom talk about it. It'll be a whole different world, and we look forward to seeing you there in June for Sail GP Chicago. So on behalf of Stevie Morrison, the legend Freddie Carr, Lisa Darmanin, and the real wind whisperer Nathan Outridge, I'm Todd Harris saying so long for now. Australia rails supreme in Bermuda.
Same all day. Took me a long time, but never quit it, no way. And I ain't hiding nothing, I ain't doing 2K. So my beat flying.
To the top, the French are trying to barge in. Wow, that was punchy as the line went clear.
Man, I'm always on the pitch, I'm not a line
Oh,
man.
that's a big moment in the race there. The
Kiwis on day number 2 take the win. Australia brings it home.